So welcome back to House. So what we thought we'd do today, how we left off. So the previous pod was in relation to what I did myself to purchase my first property. So, Ali, you've purchased property, of course, before.
Yep.
So if I was a new buyer, I was a person who wanted to buy the property in today's market.
Yes.
And it's my first home, whether I'm 20 years old or 55 or whatever the case may be, years old. How would you do it yourself?
Well, first you have to know what you can afford. Okay, to repayment. So there's there's a variety of properties out there, from apartments through to mansions, right? McMansions out there, and everything in between. So you got to work out what you can afford, and then from there work out, I would say, in which location that you like, etc., close to family or further away from family, friends, etc., whatever it may be. So the question being, how do you afford to purchase your first property? So,
Correct.
So that would be, you got to save, as we said previous podcast, you got to save, we would suggest at least 10%. So you have to work out if the property that you're after is a $450,000, for example, apartment, as opposed to $1 million home. That's a big variance in the deposit that you need to save. To save, if you're an employee, I would suggest, as I say, every month or whenever you get paid, every 2 weeks that you get paid, put a portion of that into an account that you're not going to touch.
So how much would you put aside? But you're very frugal with money.
Yeah. Of your wage.
Yeah. So let's say, for example, you were making $1,000 a week.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. So
you're making $1,000 a week clear.
Everyone's different, but you would look at your budget. How much do you spend on average per week?
Okay, so that's going out, my rent, if you're renting, whatever your base cost.
Correct. Eating, petrol for your car expenditure.
Phone.
It all adds up. Everything else, just to live, everything costs, right? Clothing, etc. If you've got children, education, less electricity, gas, everything costs. You have to have a budget. Okay? Perhaps it's probably a good idea to put everything, write it all down, work it out, exactly how much you're paying.
And their website, the banks have on their websites, they have great calculators.
Correct. And then have great, if you like, headings to remind you, oh, gee, I'm also paying for
Subscriptions.
Yeah. Or whatever.
Or Netflix or whatever.
Correct. And then just jog some memory, go, put everything down on a spreadsheet or just write it down and go, okay, every month it's costing me $4,000 or whatever it may be, $3,000 just to live.
Correct.
Okay. And after that, let's say you're earning $4,000 a month, so that you've got $1,000 potentially that you can put aside to save.
Right. And then that really boils down to, well, how serious am I?
Correct. So you can reduce your costs of living.
Yep.
So instead of going out to the pub or going out to a restaurant once a week or buying your coffees that everyone does every day, cut that out. You'll save a lot of money. Average cost of coffee now is $5.50. You do that twice a day over a 5-day week. That's a lot of money.
It's basically $50 at the end. At the end of the month, it's $200.
Correct.
$200 at the end of 12 months. Let's say, for example, you have a plan for 12 months. That's $2,500.
That goes a long way.
Yeah, 100% it does. So, and it's as we discussed in the previous podcast, you cut it back. You need to be lean and mean, buying your own brands or whatever the case may be. You may be shopping at Coles or Woolworths, and then you've got Aldi. I'd be going Aldi every day of the week. There's no question about it. You will save a bundle. And this is how you need to think. I've got all these subscriptions, drop them.
Yep.
You don't need them. And you don't need to do this forever, do you?
No. Short-term pain for long-term gain. And even simple things. Let's say you're accustomed to go, I don't know, every half a year or whatever on a trip, holiday.
Yep.
Perhaps just park that for a year. Will go a long way in terms of your mortgage.
Yeah, definitely. Because ideally, you really want to get into the market as soon as
possible. Absolutely. Historically, property always, well, not always, but over time increases. So getting earlier, you'll be better off.
Okay, so we've discussed lean and mean, cut down your costs, bank as much as you can, and just be very mindful, because your goal is to have a property. That's what you want. You can You can have it property, or you can go out with your mates, friends, etc., and have a great time and all the rest of it. But at the end of the day, you're really paying off somebody else's mortgage.
Absolutely.
Okay? You don't want to be doing that. You want to be in the driving seat. So you've got a mortgage, and actually having a mortgage, people think, oh my gosh, I've got a mortgage. But having a mortgage opens up other avenues for you as well, because it shows to banks that, well, you've got an asset behind you, number one. So if you need to do something, well, he's got this asset. They've had the asset for 5 years. It's accumulated in value X. Right. Well, and it leaves other avenues for you.
Correct. It gives you other opportunities to borrow against that asset.
Yeah, for sure. So number one is save. There's no other way.
Correct.
And you need to prove to the banks that you can save, because they're not going to give you money. If you all of a sudden have 50,000 drop into your account, well, there's going to be questions. Where did you get it? I won it at the races or whatever the case may be. Yeah, no. If banks can see that you're a good saver, they'll look after you.
Over time.
Yeah. And what I mean by look after, you can normally negotiate a better interest rate because you're a safer bet. The risk of you not paying, defaulting is lower than somebody who's just dropped 50,000 in their account, goes, yep, I'm ready to go.
Correct. So they're going to look at pay slips and the like, and if you work for yourself, you're going to have to prove it in other means. But
yep,
yeah, they're going to ask for whatever it may be, 6 months, 3 months, 12 months of pay slips, just to get a very solid idea of your financial capability.
Yeah, definitely. So that's what you do, guys. So if you want to buy your first property, it's lean and mean all the way until you get to that state. And it's not forever. It's just to show the banks that you can do, that you're a good saver and that you can do this, and then off you go.
And you want to get into the property market as soon as possible. You start off small, an apartment, and then over your journey, over your life, you grow,
Yep.
From a smaller apartment to a bigger apartment to your first house to your second house, which will be slightly bigger, hopefully. Then you may have kids or whatever it may be, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, some people, they just want an apartment. They don't want mowing, trees, and all the rest of it that's involved. Yeah, it's a lot of work. So it's a case of an apartment. It just ticks the box. So whatever you choose, just try and do it as soon as you can.
Yep. Excellent.
Well, we'll leave it there. The next, I think we'll turn it on its head for the next pod. And I think crypto could be the way to look at it. So we've talked about something which is very safe, Alec.
Thanks. Absolute extreme.
So, and it is the absolute extreme because so many people have crypto. They may not have a lot, but they've got coins and all different bits and pieces, and they're thinking, oh, if only this jumps up in value, I'll have this.
Well, we just had the Australian Open. It's like he's serving to you and you gave it forward smash. Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching and looking forward to you tuning in for next time.
Yeah, definitely. If you like what you see, guys, make sure you subscribe and like. It makes a world of difference to us. Have a great day.
Thanks.